Alrighty, what's up, guys? Cosmic Wonder here. The MCU reboot is not what you think it is. What do you mean by that? Let's get into it. Let's see what he means by that.
The Marvel reset has been confirmed by Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige. However, I don't think it happens like many people, including myself, originally thought that it was going to. But it is confirmed we are getting a new universe, one in which the Avengers, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and more all exist together, finally. And we've been talking about how it's finally going to happen after Secret Wars. However, now, I don't think that the reset happens after Secret Wars. I think that it happens before, at the end of Avengers Doomsday. And I think that Doomsday ends with Doctor Doom literally taking the place of Kang. Yes, he's taking his place as the main villain, but I mean literally taking his place as He Who Remains. So in this video, I'll go over how Doom literally replaces Kang, how he resets the universe in Secret Wars or at the end of Doomsday, and how this new reset universe moves forward after Doomsday and Secret Wars. So much like what happens in the Secret Wars comics and the Time Runs Out story leading up to that, in the MCU we are heading towards the multiverse getting completely destroyed. But I don't think that this is going to happen how I originally thought that it was going to happen.
I wish
Originally, I thought that the multiverse gets completely destroyed and then the Void was basically going to be Battleworld. And that's the Void from Loki and Deadpool and Wolverine, not the one from the Thunderbolts, just to clarify.
That'd be pretty cool if it was the Thunderbolts.
This does make sense, because the Void is where remnants of destroyed or pruned universes end up. So if we have a Battleworld that consists of multiple different universes that were destroyed, it makes sense that they'd end up at the Void. However, I think Marvel has a different plan for the Void, which we'll get into in just a bit. In recent reports from insiders, we've been told that Doctor Doom thinks that he is the hero. And honestly, if he's truly trying to save the multiverse from incursions caused by other heroes, he's not exactly wrong to think of him.
Now, is he an actual hero, or does he just think like he's a hero, you know? Like, some people are just mentally deranged. They think they're a hero, but actually they're not. Like, you know? Because if he's going after Captain America, like, you know, you ain't no hero, buddy.
Himself as the hero. In fact, I wouldn't really be surprised if Marvel literally makes him out to be the hero in the film. After all, it is Robert Downey Jr., and people do love him. But even if he starts out as the hero, it doesn't mean he's going to end up being the hero at the end. At least not to the Avengers. Now, we've been told that Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom is going to hate Kang and what Kang did with the TVA and with the Sacred Timeline, secluding it and not allowing branches to happen. We've actually heard recently from insider Alex Perez that the original 616 timeline did have the X-Men and the Fantastic Four in it. But Kang did something to make it to where they don't exist in that universe. And Doom has a problem.
Okay, I gotta say, that is so smart. The way to bring in the X-Men, it's that they've been here the whole time. They've been here the entire time, and Kang just made them forget, or, you know, something like that. That's so smart. I love that idea. I honestly love that idea. Instead of bringing them from a different universe, they've been here the whole entire. I love that.
Problem with this.
Because they did tease that. I don't know if any of you watched that horrendous show, She-Hulk. It said in a newspaper that it said a man with fork claws. And then there was another. There's a bunch of mutants everywhere, like Namor, some other people. So it makes sense.
But at the end of it all, I think Doom is simply going to take the place of Kang, or Loki's place, I guess, right now. And when I say take his place, I literally mean Marvel is just going to swap out Kang for Doom and give him a pretty similar story, because I don't think that Doom, at the end of Avengers Doomsday, destroys the TVA. Originally, I thought that's what he was going to do, but now I think that he takes it over, and from there he does exactly what Kang was going to do. He reduces the multiverse to one timeline, fusing a bunch of different universes together. Not to get rid of the multiverse, but it's because it's all he can do to save something, anything. much like he does in the comics, because the multiverse is going to get destroyed. It's a domino effect. Once an incursion starts, others start to happen as well. And I think we're really going to see that start to happen in Avengers Doomsday. And in the comics, that's how it is. Once it starts, essentially you can't stop it. It's going to eventually all be destroyed. So at the end, Doom decides to do exactly what Kang did. Save one timeline, the sacred timeline. But this new sacred timeline consists of a bunch of different universes combined into one, essentially giving us Battleworld. And I actually think that this new timeline for the reset is the Battleworld grounds, a new universe that Doom rules over. Because here's the thing, Doom wants to save the multiverse, and in the comics he wants the same, but ends up only saving one universe. I think the same thing happens in the MCU. A universe still exists, one that's a combination of a bunch of them. Originally I thought the Void was going to be the only thing that exists, which isn't exactly a universe. And the Russo brothers, who directed Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, who are directing Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, said something very interesting that I think has finally clicked with me. And Marvel president Kevin Feige basically said the same thing. They said that Secret Wars is the new beginning for the MCU. They said literally that movie is the new beginning, not what comes after it.
So
but
it's like
that movie
Infinity
itself
War
is the new beginning. So what if the MCU reset
like
doesn't
better
happen
than
at the
Infinity?
end
That
of
would
Avengers
be
Secret Wars, but it
insane.
happens before, at the end of Avengers Doomsday? Doom ends up at the TVA and he defeats Loki and all of the Avengers.
Loki
From
versus
there,
Doom
he
is
rules
gonna
the
feed
TVA, where he
generations.
can watch over his newly created sacred timeline. And think about it. All of the timekeeper
him in
statues
that
that were
chair
there,
is
the
so
Kang
sick.
statues that were there at the
Oof.
TVA, Doom would love to have statues of himself all over the place, ruling over what's left of all the multiverse, being able to monitor it from outside space and time. He'll go back and forth though, because of course Doom has to physically rule Battleworld in his castle. That's just what Doom does. In this new universe, nobody remembers the universes before. All they remember is this current universe, and all they know is that God Emperor Doom saved them, and he rules now as their king. It seems fine at first, but Doom rules with an iron fist, with a police-esque force doing his bidding. In the comics, this is the Thor Corps. In the MCU, it's probably
yeah,
just
Thor
going to
Corps.
consist of
Oh
a bunch
gosh.
of different well-known characters. So he rules with Strange, who is Sheriff Strange in the comics, being in charge over that police force, and Sue and Franklin by his side. We've actually seen this in the leaked concept art for Avengers Secret Wars. And if you actually take a look at it, you can see that somebody is being brought to Doom's feet, put on their knees by chain, by somebody who looks to possibly be Yelena Belova. But either way, I think this person is a part of Doom's police force. And it shows that he's not exactly the nicest ruler. So just like what happens in the comics, some of the characters start to realize that Doom isn't exactly who they think he is, and eventually they revolt against him. Now, at the same time that all of this is happening, I do think some characters use the Void to survive the end of Doomsday. So they will be outside of the creation of this new universe, which means they won't have their memories erased. So essentially, they'll use the Void as the life rafts from the comics in Secret Wars. This would also make it to where Doom couldn't monitor them as well if they are in the Void. And in the comics, both parties in the two different life rafts remember everything before the multiverse was destroyed. And that's pretty crucial for a battle world, for Secret Wars. There have to be characters who do remember the past, and that's especially important moving forward in a new reset universe. Because we've been told basically that the reset is going to be like Crisis on Infinite Earths, to where only a handful of people actually remember the universes before,
Stop talking,
the
bro. You're
multiverse
giving me too
before.
hard.
But as long as a handful of characters remember the past, then we still have everything that Marvel created from the Infinity Saga and the Multiverse Saga. So that way we still honor the past, but we move forward with a new reset timeline, giving Marvel a fresh start. And this is how some of the characters remember. They escape to the Void to survive Doom, to survive the end of the multiverse. Then, using some TVA tech, they wind up at the TVA, which is ruled by Doom, and they see everything that has happened, everything that Doom has done. From there, they can go to Battleworld and defeat Doom. These would be the main Avengers: Reed Richards, Spider-Man, Yelena, the Hulk, Wong. Not Strange, because Strange is probably going to be on Battleworld with Doom being his right-hand man like we've seen in those photos. Shang-Chi, and Deadpool and Wolverine, because they're most likely the ones who tell the Avengers about the Void, and they think they can hide there based on what Cassandra Nova said in
they
Deadpool
don't have
and
anyone
Wolverine.
that's, like,
She'll destroy the entire
powerful.
multiverse until there's nothing
Not even
left
Captain Marvel.
but the Void. Now, of course, eventually in Secret Wars, the Avengers defeat Doom. But now we're left without a multiverse. We have one universe, a universe that is a combination of a lot of different universes with the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and the Avengers, all characters finally in the same universe. A lot of these characters won't remember the world before what I'll call the Battle World timeline, but again, it's okay because some will remember, and this is a fresh start. In the comics, Reed Richards and his son Franklin literally rebuild the multiverse one universe at a time. And it sounds like Marvel wants to avoid the multiverse for a bit in the next saga, so perhaps while Franklin is still young, they wait to rebuild it, leaving us with just this one universe. One that Doom is still in, because if Marvel is really thinking about keeping Robert Downey Jr. on as Doctor Doom after Secret Wars, which we've heard reports that they are doing, this would all make a lot of sense, because you don't have to kill Doom in the story. In fact, in Secret Wars, they don't kill Doom. Instead, Reed Richards gets the powers that Doom had and basically renders Doom kind of useless at the end. He does, however, manage to get healed of his scars on his face, but he is still there and he remembers everything that happened. They should do this in the MCU as well. That way, Doom can stay a constant threat
idea,
in the
honestly.
MCU. But at the same time,
Keep
you can
Robert
argue,
Downey
and he would
Jr. in
argue,
the
that he was
MCU.
only trying to save everybody. This way, he can go on to still have stories where sometimes he is an ally to the heroes, much like we get in the comics. This is how I think that it's all going to go down. But go ahead, let me know what you think about my theory in the comments down below. Do you like it?
I think that it's a great theory. I honestly hope that it comes true. The more and more I hear about this movie, the more and more I want to watch it, guys. Oh my gosh, guys. Saying I can't wait is an understatement. But I can't wait. I love you guys. God loves you. Read your Bibles, pray. Subscribe if you want. Let me know what you guys want me to react to. And peace and positivity. Peace out.